So this video is going to take a quick look at my favorite pen clicks. This is going to be completely subjective and no way scientific. It's just my favorite pens to click. It has nothing to do with how they write. It's literally just, do I like how it feels when you click it? So let's get going. First up, we have the PaperMate Inkjoy 700 RT. This is a very cheap, affordable pen. It has a super light click. It's just the weirdest, quirkiest little click. It feels like some sort of switch that you would use inside of a computer, like the reset button on your old school beige desktop. It's just a fun click. Next up, we have, this is a weird pen. This is a Fischer SpaceTec. It's a plastic pen. It's kind of the same as the Writes in the Rain pen, and it's got a really strong click. Very distinctive, clean feeling, and something about it being wrapped entirely in plastic, I think gives it a unique feel and a unique sound. See if you can make that out. Now we have the Juice Up. It's a really cool click. I like the mechanism here. You can see the clip is built into the button instead of the body, which is quite cool, and it has a good feel to it. Nice sound, very clean feel. And now we have the Pilot S20. This is just a really, really beautifully made pen with probably my favorite click mechanism. It's just really clean. It just feels like all the parts were made to a fantastic tolerance. And now this is the, I always blank on the name of this. This is the Ballograf Epoca P. And this pen just has a weird click. Something about the way it clicks is just sort of non-standard. And I can tell you that the mechanism inside is surprisingly complex, and it's not like a normal twist mechanism. So I think that results in a really interesting feel. Good sound, but very distinctive feel. Now we have probably the best pen click of all time. This is, of course, the Fischer Ag7 Space Pen. Just a really great click. And then the release is this button here. This is probably the most satisfying pen click of any pen that you could buy. And it's aided by the fact that the pen is, obviously has a lot of history. This is the Space Pen. And it's extremely well made. It's all this entire metal brass body. And just, the click is just superb. So clean. Interesting. It kind of like here, right at this point, right? It actuates and it just completely gives way, and just a cool feel to it. This is a vintage pen. This is the Odo Gripper. And this pen, you can see how long the button is. So it has a really long throw, and then it stops. It doesn't keep going. It just goes down, clicks, and then it stops immediately. And then to return it, you push the clip in. And it pushes back, obviously, very far. So, nice sound. Fun action. This is just another very satisfying one, just because it's such a long push. And it's not like this piece seems to stick out too far. It's just that this whole piece is extending. Just very interesting. Then the return is actually very forceful, because it travels so much. So when you press it, you can actually feel it lifting your hands up a little bit. This pen is the Energel pen from Pentel, and it just has a really great, strong click. If I'm ever like in an office and someone tells me like, please stop clicking your pen, it's probably because I brought the Pentel Energel to work that day. This is like one of the pens I want to just click all the time. Plus the mechanism, you could see it's clear, which this is one of the sub brands of the Energel. I forget which one it is. I have reviewed it in the past, but you could see on the inside everything that's going on, which is quite cool. And now here, probably my click Hall of Fame, I would have these two, and then the AG7. AG7 we talked about already. Now we have the Sakura Ballsign. Not a great pen by any measure, but just a really phenomenal click. Very clean, good return. You can kind of slam it back if you let go. Listen now. You could see inside the mechanism, which is nice. It has a sort of mushroom shape, so that stops it on its own. No stopper required once the pen flares out, or the button flares out. It also has a little throw, which is kind of weird. And the click has just an interesting feel to it. It's a very standard mechanism, but it just varies in some way that gives it a really great click. And now we have the Tombow Air Press. This is a weird pen because it does not use a pressurized refill, but when you click it in, it actually seals the refill and pressurizes it. That means it has a really interesting feel when you click it. And then on the return, it's being unsealed. You know, the little refill is being unsealed, and you can actually hear it unsealing if you listen carefully. Listen now. Listen now. It kind of is like a bit of a suction sound on the, when you're releasing it. So it's sealed now, and now listen. Anyway, if you didn't hear it, you could definitely hear it with this pen. And it's a great feel, really nice click. And then the fact that it has that little weird suction sound is just too cool. Unfortunately, this pen does not write very well, and it kind of looks ridiculous, and the refill for it is basically impossible to use anything but the stock refill, despite my attempts to find something. But I can't get rid of this pen because the click is just too cool. So those are my favorite pen clicks of all time. Thanks for watching.